Sounds really bad. Welcome to another episode of Tea Time with Barclay. It's tea time. Tea time. Clink.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
We have to, I guess. Today we are sitting down with Moth Madness. Welcome to Mycelium Gallery again.
Hey.
So Moth is a visual artist, singer, performer. They do roller derby. They work at Sisu homeless shelter. How do you do all of these things?
I have a lot of energy, and I very much like to just go from one thing to the next. So I don't rest.
Okay.
That would be how. And the Adderall, right?
Okay.
You know,
That probably helps.
Prescription stimulants. I will give you energy, whether you want it or not.
Madness.
Yeah, the madness. Yes. Uh-huh.
Well, I know that you were injured while doing roller derby, so you kind of had to stop for a while. How was that? How was
It's
stopping?
been crazy. It's been awful. Well, and I haven't really been stopping. I mean, you've seen me here with the broken leg, and death dropping with the broken leg.
That was impressive.
Well, we did on the other leg, right? But it's been awful. I mean, my wife did say that me breaking my leg was the nightmare scenario, because I am just always doing everything and always up and about. Honestly, all the time I'll get home and I'll be running around the house and I won't even sit down. So it's definitely been very, very difficult to have to sit down. Yeah.
Do you feel like you're relaxed now?
No. No, it was
Just,
more stressful.
itching,
Yeah, I was please let me out of the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, you've had your art displayed in Mycelium Gallery pretty much since we opened.
Or since y'all moved here, I think.
Yes, since we moved here. So, we're drinking peppermint green tea, Moroccan mint.
Yeah.
Why is your favorite tea peppermint green tea?
Well, yeah, I mean, again, I don't drink a whole lot of tea, so I think green is always kind of safe to go for. But I like really anything pepperminty, minty kind of. I don't know, I'm definitely a fan of the sort of tastes and textures that kind of hurt you. So, the soda and the spicy and the mint, if it's doing the lemongrass, if it's doing something in my body, I'm happy about it.
Cool. And yeah, I'm gonna make people drink tea when they're doing the interview, even if you don't like tea.
Well,
we're drinking tea. It's tea time.
Yeah, it's tea time with Barclay. Well, I'm happy to drink tea. I don't typically go out and buy it.
Yes. So what age were you when you decided that you were an artist, or do you remember?
I don't know at what age I probably would have started calling myself an artist, maybe more middle school or high school. But I do definitely think that everybody is an artist. There just is not a child anywhere that's not drawing or playing with creativity and creating things. So I think that I was always doing that, and just kind of kept doing it, and continued.
Yes, as we are. I feel like people, artists. Person,
yeah,
artist.
Absolutely. I think even people that very staunchly say that they do not create anything are involving themselves in some process of creation, whether they like to admit it or not.
Right, exactly, yes. Do you remember the first creative things that you have done in your life?
I really liked playing with the little tessellation blocks as a kid.
What are those?
They're little shaped blocks. So a tessellation is any kind of pattern that can be tiled, repeated.
Okay.
So squares, right? Or a hexagon, or well, actually I don't even know if hexagons tiled. No, they must, because there was a hexagon in these tessellation blocks. But little rhombuses, and you can put them together in patterns, and of course, I mean, you can just you play with them in any way that you want, right? You don't have to be a pattern. But I always liked making patterns, and they're nice blocks because they most of them like are made so that they fit together and they'll make these nice patterns. So you typically do kind of like those like 360 like sort of like symmetrical pieces all the way out. And yeah, they're really fun to play with. I would love to find a set as
all
like an adult.
colors.
Yeah, they're like the hexagons are yellow and the rhombuses are like a gray and like the trapezoids are like a green. Like the different shapes have like the same, because they're also for like learning for kids, you know.
Yeah. I feel like colors were like one of the things when I was a kid that really like stood out to me.
Yeah.
It's like putting together things.
Definitely.
Awesome. So what you do for your visual art, you do lots of painting. What kind of paint do you use?
I use acrylic paint. I don't like oil paint, and I don't like watercolor. Watercolor is my natural enemy. I like a lot of pressure whenever I do anything, and you really cannot do that with watercolor. You got to have a light hand.
Yes, and it usually doesn't pop as much.
No, and you also have to be a little more careful, I think, like to layer, like to build the kind of depth of color by like, you know, adding the. And I liked it to just be there. I wanted to, I like the bold color, and honestly, I've really been liking doing the digital art and prints because, the color is very bold, and you can get a lot more variety of color than you can with paint typically.
I like that, like, you do have some shadows in here, but they're like shapes.
Yeah, and just kind of light.
Yes, and then, so you just came out with these prints.
Yeah.
What software did you use for these?
I used Krita for these. It's free, so,
cool.
That's nice.
Yes.
It's somewhat similar to Photoshop. I've never used Photoshop, but that's what I hear. I know there's like guides that for Krita that are like coming from Photoshop to Krita because it is kind of similar. But there's just so much you can do in the program. It's like an open source program, so it's always getting updated, and it's also, I really like. It's one of those programs like. When you open it up and you see the opening screen, right? It's art, and it's art made by a person, and it has their name on it, and you can search for them, and you know it's them, and it's their art. And that's just not super common anymore because most big companies are outsourcing their stuff to AI, and so it's nice to see like an art software that is like employing or like utilizing artists and like platforming artists. I don't know that they're employing anybody because it is like a free open source program, but like they're platforming artists, not just whatever.
I might have to look into that. That's cool. What inspires your visual art?
I think just mainly people. I really like to take pictures of my friends, and this is like a friend of mine with a dress that they made, and I really like. I have not really worked in these kind of colors before. Obviously, usually it's pink, so it was fun to kind of do like a different color scheme. But most of these are based off of friends, either more like literally like this one, like I know that they recognize themselves in this, or some of these are like this is a friend of mine who this more kind of loosely based off of, but I like to I definitely take my inspiration from people and like fashion and colors.
And I know that like you put together some really cool outfits, and it's a good way to like remember that outfit.
It is. It's fun to remember, and it's fun to draw the outfits. And
you said you do some paintings from photography too?
I do some paintings from photography and some like prints from photography. Like I like to, whenever I'm out, I'll take pictures of friends, or I'll ask people, like, do you mind if I take a picture of you or whatever? And I like to draw. I keep sketchbooks or like scrapbooks that I'll draw like more just kind of loose sketches of the things that I take pictures of.
Cool. And then you do offer custom portraits, drawings. If anyone would like one, you can hit us up at Mycelium Gallery, and Moth will do a custom drawing of you, which I still need to do that. So you wear a lot of pink.
I do.
Mostly pink.
Yeah, almost all pink. Yeah.
I'm guessing it's your favorite color.
It is, yes.
Why is pink your favorite color?
You know, I don't know that there's like a really specific reason that it's pink. I think, you know, when I was younger, I really liked the color pink, and then for a while, was very anti-pink. I think mainly because, you know, like, just the pink is a girl color, right? Like that's everybody. Yeah, it's a girl color, right? But it is like since I've liked pink, everywhere I go, I try to make people do the shirts like pink. No one does, because it's always like, well, the guys won't want to wear them. It's like, screw them. What?
Exactly.
That's so stupid. But it's like a very politicized color. Like it's very associated with women, and I was like a trans man, so I didn't want to have anything to do with it. But you know, as I got older and started dyeing my hair, I just kept dyeing it pink, and I don't know, I'd look in the mirror and I'd be like, you know, if it was orange or green or blue, I'd be like, I kind of wish that it were pink again.
Nice.
And so then eventually the clothing followed suit.
Cool. Well, you got me to wear pink.
Yay.
Yeah. I feel like it's bright, and you can't help but smile when you wear it, so I love it. Cool. So, you perform, or you host with your partner a show called Prescription Drag. And I remember the first time I saw your show at Point A, I thought it was the most creative drag show I've ever seen.
Yay.
And I love your name, Rita Lynn, and then your partner's name is Prozac. How did you come up with these names?
Well, Rita Lynn is kind of the name that I had like wanted to go by for a while. You know, I took Ritalin like when I was a kid. I take Adderall now. I think most people that know me know that I have ADHD or have some kind of an inkling. So, you know, kind of leaning into that. And so I was just kind of encouraging Abby, my wife, to just kind of choose pick a medication that you're on. Like, are there any, I'm like, come on, list them to me. Can we make any kind of puns with any of them? So that's kind of how that just kind of came about.
Yes. I like Prozac.
Yeah, professional Zac.
Yeah. I love that. Awesome. And you have performed this show at Mycelium Gallery as well.
Yeah.
Are you looking to host this show somewhere else or anywhere else?
I would love to, yeah. If you're looking to host a drag show, let me know.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of a weird political climate, and also it's like a sort of a weird show. It's not a super traditional drag show, so it's kind of hard to find a good venue for it. Like, I mean, you know, it was the first drag show here, because, you know, before it, this wasn't like a venue super hosting drag shows. So it's kind of like you either have to pitch the weird drag show to the bars that do the drag shows, or you have to do a drag show to the venues that don't typically do the drag shows.
Right.
So, you know, working on it.
Yeah. Does it make you nervous performing in this climate after certain laws were passed?
I mean, I think I'm always nervous to perform, but I don't think I have particularly been more nervous since this. I mean, I think luckily, the prescription drag show and the shows that I've been in, I've been pretty small and pretty out of the gayborhood, you know? I think that queens that perform in the gayborhood are probably under a lot, or just they are under more danger because people know that that's where the gay people are and where the drag shows are.
Right.
I don't think that people are typically coming right here looking for a drag show, right? Because they're, you know, it's an art gallery. So I haven't really been more nervous myself, but I know that there are people that are.
Yeah. It sucks that has to be a scary thing.
It does.
Something so happy and expressive.
Yeah.
You know. Anyways, I didn't mean to get so.
That's okay. Comes with the climate, right?
Yes. So, and in your drag performances, you choose to sing instead of just lip sync.
Yeah.
When or how did you get into singing?
I think, you know, similar to art, I've always sang. I think that that's also something that like all kids sing, you know, and it's just something that some people stop doing it. And I always sang like throughout my life, maybe not publicly, but definitely like in the car, in the shower. And, you know, being on testosterone and having my voice change has, you know, made me a lot more confident to sing in more public places or kind of perform.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then you sing for the Oklahoma Action Choir. How long have you been doing that?
I want to say it's maybe about like 2 years now. It is wild that it's been going on that long. It's a really cool project. It's very nice to have a choir that's just not religiously affiliated at all.
Right.
And we do meet in a church, but it's the Church of the Open Arms. They're really cool. And it's not, no one from the church is actually involved, although they're welcome. But it's just, you know, mainly a bunch of trans people, and we're just singing. We sing, you know, labor songs and pieces from like resistance movements, and learn about them and try to educate other people about those as well. And I'm an educator, so that's a big reason I think I've stayed so long in the choir is it's, you know, not just I mean, number one, I do love to sing, so it's nice to sing every week. But also like being able to have the educational aspect to learn about the songs that we're learning about, and to be able to teach that to others is really nice.
Yeah. I guess I didn't realize you were a teacher. Where do you teach?
I don't know that I'd call myself a teacher. Again, I'm an educator, maybe to be purposely vague. I was a private tutor for a long time, and I did teach like some like small classes, but not through any like schools, or like maybe like contracted with schools, but not like on their payroll. And you know, at CSU, I work as an education coordinator, so I'm kind of I'm like connecting people with educational benefits. And I tutor for CSU when asked, which is not often. Many people ask, but then they don't come to the first session, right? It's, will you tutor me, Miss Anna? Yes, I will. Meet me 4 o'clock on Wednesday. They don't actually want to, but I do offer, right? So so technically offers open to any CSU clients if they need some tutoring, but very few have taken me up on it. But through my current job, I give trainings. I train people on how to use state systems and things like that. So I don't know, just kind of a sort of, again, purposely vague educator.
And I feel like, you know, you also open up your drag performances to people that haven't done drag before.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So you probably give them
drag educator.
Which is awesome, because like some people want to perform, but they don't know where to start, or like they don't know how to make their
debut.
Yeah, exactly.
And it can be scary to like sign up for like an open talent night where, you know, you don't know people, and also like the people in the audience, like you don't know who they are, might be random people. I found it's a really easy pitch where I can be like, hey, I'm putting on a show, I know you, what if you did like this thing that I know you can do really well, and and invite your friends, and I promise like everyone will clap and cheer and hoot and holler for you. And it's always true.
Yes, exactly. Because I mean, it takes guts and vulnerability to get up on stage and people staring at you.
And do anything. Anything at all.
Cool. So speaking of CSU, so you will be helping with curating our next group art show, which is the Out in Oklahoma group art show. That will be on June 14th.
Yes.
I was right, okay. And if you want to apply for this show, it's the June 9th is the last day.
If it's before June 9th, apply.
Yes. Have you ever curated an art show before?
No. I mean, I put on a solo exhibition in Dallas, so technically I curated that because I did all of it. But it was my own art, right? And I do think it's very different curating other people's art and you know, putting on a group show. So I'm excited to work on it. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited. And this one will be, like I said, June 14th, and half of the proceeds for the tickets will go to CSU. So the tickets are at least $10. $5 will go to Mycelium Gallery. Anything above that will go to Sisu Youth. And
Yeah, because I think we made the tickets like by donation, so it's a minimum of $10, but you can pay more if you'd like to support Sisu. And so yeah, anything above the $5. So at minimum $5 will go to Sisu, and if you decide to be nice and donate extra, then
you said it better than yes. And yes. Last question.
Okay.
What advice do you have to a new artist?
I think probably just keep making art. You know, you're never gonna make good art if you stop making art. Period.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, even the bad arts, someone's gonna like it. You know?
Yeah.
I think even if you hate it, and honestly, there are pieces I have that I hate. Well, there are pieces I have that I hate that 5 years later I still want to burn them. But there are some that I'll look at 5 years later and I'm like, why did I hate this? This is so beautiful. This is the most amazing thing I've ever made. So, you know, stick in there. Maybe you'll like it in the future.
And you still sell art that you hate.
Yeah, you do. Yes.
I've put stuff on my wall and I'm like, I don't really like that.
Yes.
And then someone buys it.
I've put stuff on this wall because it's big and I didn't want to put it at my house. And then I'm like, oh, it's gone.
Yeah.
So it does happen.
Yes, yes. And you will be surprised.
You will be surprised.
And don't lose your kidness.
Yes, so true.
All right. Well, thank you for talking with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And asking some, or answering some
Yeah.
questions that I also want to ask. And drinking tea with me.
Yeah.
You can find Moth's art here at Mycelium Gallery. It's over on this wall. Over here. It's the pink stuff.
Yes.
The
Look
pop
for
art.
pink. Yeah.
If you want to purchase some of their art, and you might see them at a roller derby match once.
Yeah, we
they're
got
fully healed.
we got one this Saturday. I'll be announcing, although I doubt this will be out by this Saturday.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, what is your roller derby?
Oh, my roller derby name. My name is Pink Acid Punch.
Okay,
but
so you have a completely different
yes,
name for
completely
roller
different name for roller derby.
Okay.
Yes,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
But it's also related to pink, right?
I love it. Yeah. And you wear pink?
I wish that I could. I wear the uniform. I wear the uniform.
Okay.
I do. That's like the only time I wear a uniform.
Gotcha. Well, again, this is Moth Madness, and thank you for watching Tea Time with Barclay. Bye. Is that good?
Yeah, I thought it was awesome.
Yay!
Yay!
I know.
Yay! Yeah, it was great.